Hey folks, this is Matt Rainwater, and today we're going to read episode 16 of Trailer Park Warlock. And this is easily one of the most popular episodes of season 1. Probably one of the most popular episodes uh, of the entire series so far. And it's also the most Looney Tunes in terms of like just the way the story's told, the pacing, and all that stuff. Jake doesn't say a single. You don't hear Jake say a single thing the entire episode. It's all kind of interspersed with what's the word? Narration. It's all interspersed with narration from the baseball game that Jake is watching. So anyway, let's get started, and here we go. No surprise to anyone, the Rocksides open up the fourth inning with Binkley at the mound. Jim Binkley has pitched an unprecedented series of no-hitters this season, now reaching 33 games. Interesting. I don't remember thinking about this when I wrote this, but 33 is a Masonic number. um, I don't. I mean, there are going to be some Masonic references coming in the probably in the next season, but not. I mean, this wasn't intentional. I'm gonna say it's intentional now. All right, so we have this pitcher, this batter, and he's set to continue his record tonight with the Albany Rascals next on his list. Jim now strategizes with his catcher Carl Carnegie. Did you see Bridal Brigade last night? So yeah, I just like this idea, the joke of like, there's like the hand gestures that baseball teams use to communicate with each other silently. Yeah, what did you think? Barber shouldn't have gone home. Oh my God, don't even get me started. And now, Coach Branford, Bridal Brigade coach. I was catching up on my stories last night. Good communication has been key to Binkley's success with the Rock Slides. And here's the pitch. First strike for the Rascals. So we have Jake now. He's munching on some popcorn. Here comes another pitch from Binkley. And so in the background, you can see like he's got this baseball on a pedestal, some candles. He's clearly ready to do something here. Crack. And it's a hit. This one's deep. Jake's getting up very suddenly. Jimenez goes after it. And the ball manages to mysteriously make its way into his glove. Jimenez pulls it off. First out for the Rascals. Binkley's got his work cut out for him tonight. And so we begin to see that Jake is interfering with the game. We have another pitch. Hinton makes a connection. Smack. Solomon picks up. Hinton rounds first. All these names, I just kind of made them up. I didn't really, I have to admit, I didn't do a lot of research on the names of baseball players. All my research was just actually like because I don't really watch a lot of baseball, and that was part of the joke for this episode in my mind, is like not a lot of people watch baseball, although I found out enough, you know what I mean? There are a lot of people who do still watch baseball. Point being, I thought that was kind of the humor. It was also kind of the humor for me for Jake, is that Jake is really into baseball, and it's kind of a sport that like it's not super popular, because like in the United States, football I probably would say is the most popular sport. And baseball just seems to fit his personality in terms of kind of the redneck thing. Not to say that only rednecks watch baseball. I mean, there's plenty of people, what would you call, like intelligentsia or whatever, who also watch baseball. Anyway, Hinton's out. And the baseball goes through him. Oh no, safe. What? Oh no, Jake does say something. And so we have this other person who is also watching the game, and she's clearly in a city setting, like in an apartment of some sort. This season, Smooth Ride is catching up with the Rock Slides tonight. Trailer Park Warlock, Jake in the ball game. Young drives it downfield. Binkley's doing so well this season that I guess the rest of the Rock Slides haven't had the chance to keep up their game. And Jake's reading this book called Counterspells, Dueling Arts, and Athletomancy. And that's the first run for the Rascals. Rascals still have a 5-point lead to surmount, but the game's still young, folks. Anything goes for now. And then Jake is putting a sigil on this bat and getting out gasoline to start a fire. Foof. Foo. And he throws the bat into the fire pit. Strike one. Strike two. Out. It's up to Rascals batter Arnold Norman to keep his team in the fourth inning. And so we see this other person who's watching the game. She has like an iguana. Is doing some magic of her own. Crash. Norman could go all the way. Boom. The ball explodes. I'm not sure how to call this one, folks. The umpire calls out. It's a pretty silly episode. I like it. The Rockside step up to bat in what is becoming one of the most unusual games of the season here in Pickingsfield. Now, where is Pickingsfield? That's my question. I never really thought that through. I'm going to say this is a home game for the Rockslides, so it's somewhere in Colorado. So it would either be Denver or... Did I say, are they the Denver Rockslides? I forgot already. Let me see. I don't think I say. Yeah, I don't think I wrote that down. Well, let's say Denver. Alright, so we're back to our antagonist doing some magic here. Strike three for Jackney. This is my favorite panel of the episode. Jake is like doing some demonic stuff. That's another out for the Rascals. More magic shenanigans. The ball throws the pitcher, which is my favorite gag. A bat steals a bat. A mushroom just grows out of the ground mysteriously to make the base impossible to reach. One of the players is now a goat. Yeah, so part of my jokes with Jake's opponent is she's like very new age woo, so like all of her magic books are kind of new age woo with names like the Infinite You. You have Jake here reading a book, and you see there's like a tornado in the field. Players are floating. The field's on fire. And we see this rock slides player crossing base, and the umpire is starting to look at these shenanigans. They're cutting forward to the score, 7-7. One of the players is now a Mothman. He flies off. The umpire, timeout. Umpire's called for a timeout. But where is he going? And then we see the umpire uttering unutterable words amongst a field of baseballs of eyes. And they're saying additionally unutterable sigils and words. Summoning what can only be described as the ghosts of... because there's Babe Ruth, Jackie Robinson. I can't remember who that's supposed to... That one guy's supposed to be... Might be. I think it's Lou Gehrig, but I don't remember. I didn't. I know that I looked up baseball players, but I don't remember that third one. Boom, crash. The ump's back. Must have been an emergency. And so the TVs have been destroyed in both wizards or magicians' rooms. And that's the end of the story. To be continued, as always. So my thoughts. Yeah, it's a fun episode because it's extremely silly. Um, it was one that I had in the back of my mind for a while, and so I spent a lot of time just like thinking up all the gags, and like I was saying earlier, it's probably the one thing I've written ever that's just it's basically Looney Tunes, and that was kind of the inspiration for it. And definitely while drawing it, I definitely had what is that? Uh, what is the name of that song? Something of the Mountain King, or maybe it's just called the Mountain King. That like classical song that's like, always ramping up in scale or in intensity. Um, so anyway, as always, I enjoy doing this with y'all. I hope y'all are enjoying reading this with me, and hopefully, I'm giving some kind of information. Sometimes I'm just reading it just to re-experience it, and I always feel good when I see jokes that I still laugh at because that means that there's something to them. You know what I mean? And that's always like in terms of my own writing. Before I before I draw the comic, if there's a joke that I come across, an idea for a joke, and I laugh at the joke, that's always a good signal that it's going to be funny. And that would probably be my word of advice for anybody who's writing humor. If you find it funny, if you're like actively laughing at it, that's a good sign. If you're kind of like, oh, that's a good idea for a joke, it's probably not going to be as strong, right? It's always a good signal when the initial idea makes you also laugh. Um, so anyway, um, my social media, right? This is what I do at the end of every episode, isn't it? I'm trying to remind myself. My social media, if you don't follow me on Twitter, it is at Matt J. Rainwater. On Instagram, at Matthew Rainwater. And then, of course, if you're watching this, you're probably already on my Patreon. But nevertheless, patreon.com/Matt J. Rainwater. And I will talk to y'all again soon. Hope you are having a good day. And thanks as always. See you later. Bye.